Good morning out there in video land. Just got to get my radio guys going here, and we should be all set. There you go. Hey, looks like all systems are go. Everything's recording. Everything looks good here. Just crank up my headphones so I can hear what the heck I'm saying too. Look at no hat. You know what that means? Temperatures have exceeded 50 degrees. That's right. It's 54 or something out there. What a beautiful day today, coming off a weekend that was okay. Wasn't too bad. A bit of rain and that kind of thing, and we also had to put up with a little bit of wind, and it was that damp, cold October day that we get when we get into the middle of October, and then we move into Halloween. But otherwise, the weekend was good. It went fast, though. Weekends go fast. It's like boom, bang, bang, boom, boom, gone. There goes Nicolas Cage over there. What the hell? We got everybody walking around today. How about that? Now my headphones, I got to adjust because I don't have a hat on. Oh, well, here we are. Last day of March, March 31st to be exact. And that's that. That's it for March. We're out of here. We're done. Kaput. Finished. And tomorrow, of course, is April Fool's. So don't be fooled by anything tomorrow morning. Anything can be in the news or anything else. April Fool's Day. There's no fool like an April Fool, but it ends at noon, so you can't pull April Fool's crap off after noon. If you do, you're the fool. Remember that. Today is also my cousin's birthday. Happy birthday to Mark Dieterichs in Glendora, California, celebrating, I think, his 67th. The guy's getting up there, and all my buddies down in California are all the same age as him. They're all getting there. I remember I used to go down there when I was 21 and hang out, and I'd be buying them beer because they were underage. We'd all get a bunch of beer and go up in the mountains and party it up and all over the place. But yeah, I was the older cousin, the older crazy Canadian cousin that went down there. Happy birthday, Marco. See you this summer. Says he's coming up this summer to celebrate my mother's 100th birthday. We'll see if he can make it. Good for him. Hope he does. Haven't seen him for a while now. Geez, I haven't been to California for a while. I used to go all the time. Now I haven't been there for a pretty long while, to be honest with you. Okay, so what else is going on here? As we get into the election here, we start off 28 days, 29 days today to the election. Art Carney Norton is running, of course, for the Liberals against PP, Pierre Poilievre, and some other people. These people, I don't know. Who knows? Jagmeet Singh and Mike Schreiner and these guys, I don't know. I don't think they have a chance, but I mean, Jagmut will probably be lucky to see the NDP even get party status the way they're going. I mean, they're making all kinds of promises, let's face it, but we'll get into that later. And as time marches on here, time marches on. Well, we're just going to march on tomorrow. It's April, so no more marching. Before we get into the show, let's talk about our sponsors. Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop, and Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue, of course, and Hamill Machine Company. And I just saw Bob Benner from Hamill walk by. Gave me a big knock on the window and wave. Yeah, so that's good. But, we look out here and the weather's getting nice. We're in the right area now. We're moving forward. No fooling around. It's going to get better and better all the time. So get your car in there and get it checked out now. You don't want to get the rush in there. Ken Hunter from Wild Bills is offering a free spring inspection. He's going to look over your whole car, and he's going to fix any problems with your car before you have troubles with it in the summer. You want to make sure all your coolants are up, make sure your air conditioning is working, all the things you need when it gets hot out. And of course, if you get in a wreck, then guess what? He's got a full body shop. He's going to take care of you in, wreck, out, showroom condition. You cannot beat that. Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop. Let them take a look at your car and make sure you're ready for summer. Get those winter tires off of there. Come on. Be proactive. Don't be reactive. You don't want to be broke down on the side of the road on a nice day in the summer while you're heading to Muskoka. Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop, Oakwood Drive, next to the Kia dealership. WildBillsAuto.ca for appointments and to see exactly what they offer over there. No Facebook funnies this weekend. I really never got into it with anybody. Believe it or not, it's hard to believe. I know because usually I'm hammering other people and they're hammering me like crazy. But no, it was a quiet weekend on Facebook. I think everybody's just waiting for the election, waiting for whatever Trump's going to do on April 2nd, and they're reserving judgment until it happens. But I heard today that Mark Carney is going to step down as leader of the Liberals. I don't know. I There's so many scandals around this guy. It wouldn't surprise me, but I haven't heard anything yet. If anybody's out there has heard anything, I'm sure I'll hear about it eventually. But yeah, there's supposed to be a news conference or something. He was going to step down. That's what I heard. Somebody messaged me this morning from my sources, and usually a lot of them are right a lot of the time. So we'll see if that happens. If it does, that's going to be interesting because what the heck? Who are they going to move up? Who's going to go? Freeland? I mean, you got 28 days to figure it out. I don't think Freeland has a prayer. I don't even think Carney has a prayer, to be honest with you. But like I say, we'll talk about that. Now, remember on Friday, I was talking about the huge police presence downtown. I saw a video of them all down here. I think it was Thursday night. They're all down here. And I was going, I don't know what's going on, but I'll find out. And yeah, we found out. Some guy, a 66-year-old guy, was sitting on a park bench in the at the end of Queen Street here at Rosberg's Park, right across from City Hall, that little park. And guess what? Some guy walked up to him for no reason and started stabbing him. 8:45 in the evening. Some crazed maniac walks up, stabs the guy. I mean, he had to be sent out of town to a trauma center, and they finally did get the guy, and that's why all the cops are blocking off the street. They got him at the corner of Queen and St. Clair, I believe. And about an hour later, half hour later, and the guy had outstanding warrants. Of course, this is what always happens: failing to comply with the terms of his probation and release order. Jerk was out on parole. They don't say what his other crimes were, but you can guarantee that someone that would just walk up and stab another person for no apparent reason, right across from City Hall, well, that's not his first rodeo. You know that. He's probably assaulted people before or something. The guy's a maniac. Where was the assailant from? Parts unknown. Parts unknown. Vagrant. No fixed address. You know, this is terrible. This is terrible. But this is what Niagara Falls has become, and I'm getting sick and tired of it. I mean, it's right in. I mean, what are they going to do, City Council? What are the cops going to do? Wait till somebody crawls up on the front steps of City Hall and dies at the front door? I mean, come on. Gotta fix this problem here. Seriously, you take your life in your hands wandering around this city after dark. I mean, the vermin come crawling out of the sidewalks. It's time to round up all these vagrants, get them the hell out of here. Get them out of town or throw them in jail. I don't care where they send them. Put them all on a bus, give them a one-way ticket out of town, and don't come back. The disaster this downtown. And when is enough? When is enough going to be enough? Has to be somebody on city council. What's going to be enough? When's it going to be enough? One of their family? I mean, come on. In a review article by Kevin Werner of Niagara This Week, when people that live downtown were asked if they're surprised, they said no. Not surprised at all. It's dangerous on Queen Street at night. You can't walk on Queen Street after dark. It's much too dangerous. This is what the guy said. He lives down here. After dark, people come out. They're usually armed with box cutters, knives, or he even saw a guy carrying a machete around. When he goes out, he carries a baseball bat, saying you can't allow them to push you around. So this guy, when he goes out at night on Queen Street, he carries a baseball bat with him. Can you imagine? This is the kind of people you're dealing with down here, and it's just as bad in the daytime. Don't get me wrong. The people I see walking around down here, you always got to watch your back. You can't turn your back on anybody. I mean, it's just crazy. He carries a baseball bat. He feels compelled to carry a baseball bat. And he says you can't allow them to push you around. I mean, this is what Niagara Falls has devolved into, and not only the downtown, the whole city. Guy walking his dog on Kaler Park there down on Kaler Street, where the ghetto dome is, and he gets stabbed to death. I mean, how many people have to be shot, stabbed, and assaulted before our city council takes action? I think everybody's got to email Tony Baldinelli and Wayne Gates, the MP and MPP respectively, and ask them what they're going to do about crime in the city. They'll promise, oh, we're going to do. They don't do anything. It's totally out of control. And when a guy can be stabbed to death walking his dog, another shot dead on his front lawn on Epworth Circle, and another can be stabbed sitting on a park bench downtown. I mean, these are only the incidents we hear of. There's assaults every day. It gives me agita. Look at it. It gives me agita. There's more we don't hear of. But and I think everybody's got to email every city councilor too and say, what are you going to do about crime? I mean, this shady, decrepit downtown that we're dealing with here, somebody's got to do something. I mean, we're going to ask a bunch of foreign students to come and live down here? Are you kidding me? Do they really expect the downtown to become a hub of university students and somewhere to experience the beauty of Niagara Falls when there is a chance they might not make it out alive? Here's maybe an idea. We pay an extra $3.5 million to patrol the casino area. Right? That's on top of our huge share of the $213 million budget that the Niagara Regional Police have. That's what it is, $213 million, and we kick in another about $3 to $4 million a year from the casino proceeds we get because Jason Burgess, our CAO, made a great deal with them. 18% of whatever we take goes to the police. Why can't we take them off that casino beat and move them to the downtown area? Now, I don't mean cruisers. I mean people walking. Cops walking up and down the street, rousting these guys, getting the paddy wagon and dragging them away if they have to, and clearing them out. Why can't we do that and commit to doing that for the next year with our $3.6 million and clean up this area? Why not? I'm sure council can go to the police, the Niagara Regional Police, say, listen, we need help downtown. You got to patrol that Queen Street, Victoria Avenue corridor. And then we want a couple cops on the beat walking. And once these guys get used to seeing the cops on the beat walking around, maybe they'll clear out. I mean, you got to clean up this city. This is ridiculous. We pay taxes. You can't even walk. The guy gets stabbed sitting on a bench. This is outrageous. I can't believe people aren't yelling and screaming. I don't hear anybody even talking about it. I'm talking about it. I mean, what do you want? The guardian angels to come in, vigilantes? Is that what they're asking for? Because that's what's going to happen. You'll start seeing it. I mean, something's got to give here. People are fed up in this city. I know everybody I talk to is, and I certainly am. I don't want to get stabbed when I come downtown. What about these businesses here? They have to close up before it gets dark because nobody's going to come down here. I mean, it's crazy. It's insanity. Got to be cleaned up, and our city council are the ones who've got to clean it up. They're the ones. They run the show. They've got to clean it up, or you're going to see stuff happen, I'm afraid, because people don't want to put up with it anymore. It's ridiculous. They can't. You can't. So over to over to the election here. Over to the election. We'll get back to Niagara Falls maybe in a minute. I don't know. Over to the election. Art Carney, Norton, he had a nice chat with President Trump, he said. And he came out of that meeting with that telephone call with Trump, happy as a schoolgirl with a new boyfriend. Oh, he was a glee club all the way. Now, do you smell what the Trump is cooking? Oh, yeah. Trump's an expert at this. Trump's dealt with guys like Carney his whole life. They think they're going to outplay him, these guys. They have another thing coming. Carney's a joke. Trump's playing him like a fiddle. You just know it. Trump. Oh, Mr. Prime Minister. I didn't call him the governor of the 51st state, so everybody's happy. Oh, respect. He's got respect. No, Trump is Trump. Believe me, Trump is Trump. He's playing the game. I don't know if you guys ever watched Leave It to Beaver back in the old days. You had Wally, the Beav, Lumpy, Tui, all these, whoever the hell these are, a bunch of them. And there was a guy named Eddie Haskell. And Eddie Haskell, when he was in front of people, he put on a good act. Hello, Mrs. Cleaver. Hello, Mr. Cleaver. Oh, your hair's looking real nice today, Mrs. Cleaver. That's Trump. They always thought, what a nice boy Eddie is. But as soon as he got out of their sight, he was doing everything he could that was bad. Right? He was a devil. But of course, all the parents thought, oh, what a nice, polite boy he is, Eddie Haskell. Well, Wally and everybody knew better than that, right? Well, this is the same with Trump. Yes, Mr. Prime Minister, I respect Canada's sovereignty. Yeah, okay. Sure. And Trump's just playing him. Carney's like a big shot. And then Trump said they're going to negotiate things after the April 28th election. Even though on April 2nd, a couple days from now, he's putting on all the tariffs. I mean, does Carney really think Canadians are stupid enough to return a liberal government to run this sinking ship because Trump called him prime minister? I mean, why not just hire Captain Smith from the Titanic? The results are going to be the same. Trump knows that he's playing a big game with these hick Canadians, and Carney's a joke. Trump knows that no matter what Norton says, tariffs are coming. Now, what Carney really wants, along with his WEF globalist bumboys, is World War III. Hey, look at this. A limo's pulling up here. Not for me. A big limo, but I don't think he's coming to get me. He's bringing a guest in. An important guest is coming, maybe. I don't know. And don't think these guys aren't looking for a World War III, and I'll talk about that later on as well. Not only did La Petite Patate promise boots on the ground into Ukraine, something Carney is going to honor for sure. I mean, he's over there thick as thieves with all the European people. The whole of Europe wants a war with Russia, and they're going to get it. They're going to get it. If you don't think they're serious, I'll tell you a little bit more about it later on. They're all getting ready. They're all getting ready over there. And Macron of France is increasing the number of military reserves from 40,000 to 100,000. Something's going on over there that is not pretty. And all the while, Trump is trying to make peace. And these guys are moving towards war, including Zelensky, this guy, he's coked up wanting war. It's not good. It's not good, ladies and gentlemen. Not good at all. Now, one post on Facebook talked about the elections and gave a long list of things PP has done and voted for and how he aligned with Trump in so many ways. And I saw it. They gave a whole list of him and Trump and how he aligns with Trump and everything. But a good friend of mine, Robert George, narrowed it down to builders and takers, with the conservatives being the builders and the liberals being the takers, and concluded that Canada is done with the takers, the liberals, and the builders are done being quiet. And he's right. A meritocracy is needed in this country. Forget about DEI because it doesn't work, and neither do the people hired. Robert is right. The only problem is that the builders are outnumbered by the takers. The liberals made sure of that. And I've said it a million times. All the people are going to vote for the liberals. The special interest groups, takers. The immigrants and refugees, takers. The expanded public service unions, takers. Along with the diehard liberal, mostly takers, the liberal voters, are all supported by the left-wing media, bought and paid for by the liberals and big-time takers. And finally, those that were supported by the government for 18 months that decided staying at home and getting paid was better than going to work, takers, and never really bothered to re-enter the workforce. And we're seeing this happen in the States. First thing they did is said, you all got to go back to work at the office. And everybody was going crazy. And if you don't, here's your buyout. You're done. And there's 50 to 75,000 people who gave in their notices and took the buyout because they didn't want to go back to work. They had to actually work. Some were working 2 jobs. So all of the above. Oh, there's the guy who was driving the limo. I don't know. He doesn't look like a limo driver to me. But all this should ensure a Carney victory. But hold on a minute. There's a wave, and Pierre Poilievre is running his rallies, and he's getting 5,000 people at these rallies. I don't think the liberal media and their polls are correct in this one. I see PP out way ahead of the liberals. That's what I see. Now, I could be wrong because all the stuff that I said, the takers are still out there, and they like to vote liberal, but I think some of them have even had it. I think some of them have even had it finally. They're waking up. So here's what's really important. Because we can't have a minority. A minority government will last for about a year, maybe a year and a half at most. And when that happens, what's got to happen is that PP has to get things done to the extent that people say, yes, we're going to vote and give him a mandate, a majority mandate. Is a year and a half enough of being opposed by all the liberals and the NDP ganging up on him? He's not going to get anything done with a minority government. They're going to gang up on him and make sure he doesn't. So is he going to be able to make a point and make a case to give him a majority? That's going to be the question. So we need a majority. And the only way to get it is for people to get out and vote. That's the only way. On April 28th, you've got to get out and vote. You got to get out and vote, and you have to support conservatives if you want to get rid of this little liberal government. Now, if you don't, that's fine, but get out and vote anyway. Either way, you got to get out and vote. And I wish Bernier would stop it. I mean, I like Bernie. I like what he has to say, but he doesn't have a chance of winning. He's going to get 0 seats, and all he's going to do is steal some votes, important votes that could make the difference from Poilievre. I wish he would just join forces with the conservatives, and I'm just getting the feeling that that he's just mad at the conservatives for what happened, and he's not going to let it go. He knows he's not going to get elected. He knows he don't have a prayer. He knows he's getting no seats. And he still continues on rather than saying, listen, I'm dropping it. I can't win. I'm going to back Poilievre, and we're going to get a conservative agenda in here, right? That's what he should do. I don't know if it's ego. I don't know what it is. But we're not seeing that happen. So that means that every conservative has to be rallied, has to get out, has to vote and try to get rid of these liberals. Right now, what you have happening is confusion. Can't trust the mainstream media. They're bought and paid for by the liberals. And so the polls reflect the liberals being ahead 6 points. I don't believe that for a second. I don't believe it. As a matter of fact, like I say, this morning I got a message from somebody saying that word is that Carney's going to step down because of too many scandals and living in New York, moving his business to New York, offshore bank accounts. There's just too much going on that he's got to step down. He's unelectable. So we'll see what happens this morning. After I finish the show, I'll be looking for that. Also, they're saying that he's a regular at Epstein Island, caught up in the globalist agenda, ready to take Canada to the depths of hell. I don't know if that's true or not, but I know I did see a picture of him and Ghislaine Maxwell. So, I mean, if that's a true picture, then that's not looking good on him being part of Epstein's crew. Yeah, I don't know. I just think that if he does get in, he's going to continue the death spiral that the Trudeau family started. Now I'm going to tell you about another guy and what he says in a second, but I'm going to get to my second sponsor now. And there goes my third sponsor, Hamel Machine Company, Bob Banner out there. Going by again. Okay, let's get the Pizza on Victoria Avenue. You want a great pizza. I mean, you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to worry about consistency. You just want a good pizza. Pizza on Victoria Avenue. They're going to dish it out to you the right way. They use the Mancini family recipe for their sauce. They use the Mancini family recipe for their crust. And Mike, who worked in an Italian restaurant, who owns the pizza joint, knows how to make a pizza. He puts it on in the right ratios with Saputo and brick cheese blend, and it just comes out perfect with fresh toppings. You can't beat it. But he's not just about pizza. He has steak and cheese poutine, regular poutine. He's got panzerotti. He's got so much good stuff over there. A menu that folds out. And everything I've had there so far is good. You can't beat it. Open till 2 in the morning on Friday and Saturday for your convenience. Always running specials, so you don't have to worry about it. This special is on Wednesday, $19.99 for a tray of pizza with 3 items. How can you beat that? I get it. Eat 2 or 3 pieces or whatever. Freeze it, and I have it all for the next week or so. On Thursday, wings, $9.49 a pound, and they do good wings over there. So there's all kinds of specials. Go to the website, Pete'sPizzaVictoria.ca. See what they got. You can order off the website or dial up 905-374-2222. Either way, you're going to get yourself a good pizza, consistent. You know it's going to be good. Get it home hot. Enjoy your great pizza. Support our sponsors because they support the city and they support the show here. And by the way, while you're at it, if you're watching the video, just go down there and give it a click, subscribe. It costs you nothing to subscribe. It helps the algorithm find out about my show and get it out there. It helps the show. And also, you can comment, leave comments, thumbs up, thumbs down, leave some comments, and we'll get to them. Yeah, come on, subscribe. Costs you nothing. Helps the show. Now back to what I was saying about this gagoots that's saying Trump may take Canada by force. When Johnny comes marching home again, hurrah. Yeah. Where do they find these people to come up with these things? Yeah, he's going to send the army over the border, coming right across the Rainbow Bridge here. I'll be able to see him marching down Park Street. It says Trump may just waltz the United States military into Canada and just take it over. Now, I don't know who this person is. I don't even know if it's a man or a woman. I can't tell. The person who came up with this scenario is Aisha Ahmad, who thinks she is in the Middle East, I guess. I don't know. They're in the Middle East where this stuff happens. I mean, that happens daily over there. You got the warlords taking over, countries and cities and towns and shooting everything up. But this Aisha Ahmad. Yeah, I guess it's a she. Sounds like a she to me, Aisha. That's a she. Yep, so they're going to march in and take it over. That's her opinion. And, this is just, at the end of the day, another person trying to stir things up and sensationalize what is already being blown out of proportion by reporters and these politicians. I mean, that's not going to happen. It's not going to march in with the military. I don't think they can fit a tank through customs. The booths, they're not wide enough. This nonsense goes on. Say Canadian resistance fighters would fight back. I hate to tell you this, but all these immigrants aren't fighting anybody. Definitely not the United States. Number one, they're not going to fight no war in Canada. They're not even loyal to Canada. And we have a bunch of people who don't know which bathroom to use. How are they going to go fight? Who are they going to fight? Now, over in Alberta, in the prairie provinces, and that they might get a fight. These guys all got guns and they hunt. Yeah, they might get a fight, but they're not going to get any resistance coming over the border in Niagara Falls. Forget about it. Anyway, what kind of paper would publish this nonsense? Yeah, yeah. Headlines, my friends, headlines. But you know what? I'm done. I'm done with this nonsense. It's so ridiculous that somebody would publish a story like this. It isn't going to happen no matter what some Middle East freedom fighter thinks. You're not in Baghdad anymore, Ahmad. You're not in Baghdad, Isha. Not going to happen here, so forget about it. Quit it. Quit it. Nobody's marching into anywhere except Greenland, maybe. Oh my goodness! You read the papers and it just makes you laugh. It really, really does just make you laugh. Just makes you laugh. It's crazy. Well, one thing I do know about this election is that Canadians have had it with the Liberal Party no matter what anybody says, no matter what the MSM media, the mainstream media is trying to spin. And I think it's going to be a majority for PP. Yeah, Carney got a little bump there at but now it's starting to settle back down to where the conservatives are winning again. They're there. Other than from the mainstream left wing media, they're telling you they're losing, but they're not. And what I read a story about is that the people who do attend PP's rallies are mad. They're angry. They've had it with this Liberal government. I mean, really, it's been a dystopian nightmare where the country has been allowed to be invaded by foreigners, and they're given everything while Canadians rot and starve on the streets. Taxes are out of control. Politicians have been stealing, then giving away the hard-earned taxpayer dollars, all the way while taking away freedoms, freezing bank accounts, trampling old people with horses, and unjustly locking up peaceful protesters for years. That's the new Canada. And people are sick of it. They're done. I mean, can Canadians really have that short of a memory span? They don't remember what's happened in this country over the last 10 years? I mean, look around. Look at the COVID hoax. Look what happened there. Look at the prices. Look at everything. You don't even have to, people in Niagara Falls don't even have to think about it. Vote for Baldinelli. Come on. Look around the city. We need to have power, and we need the feds to step in and clean this place up. Got to get our city council to start cleaning things up too. They got to go to the cops. It's got to be our city council who goes and says, we've had enough. Do your job. Do your job. How clueless can Canadians be? I have to believe they're smarter than that. But stay tuned. This is Canada, where the impossible happens every day. Oh, for your information, just so you know, the bookies have the election in a dead heat right now. There is no favorite. There is no favorite. Dead heat. The election's in a dead heat. So we'll see what happens. And I think most of the pundits that know anything about polling and that poll and do everything, they're saying about the same thing. It's a dead heat. It could go either way. So even more important to get out and vote. You don't think your vote counts? Well, this election, every vote counts. So we'll see what happens. Let's get back to Niagara Falls. Get your wallets out, everybody. The Sunshine List in Ontario swelled by 76,986 people this year. 2024 anyway. It's up to 377,666 people on the Sunshine List. And that's up from 300,680 in 2023, up a whopping 20%. By 76,986 people, it's gone up. Where's the city of Niagara Falls fit in? Well, let's take a look. There are 226 employees that make in excess of $100,000 on our payroll. Now that comes out of approximately 550 people, permanent employees at the city. So half of them make over $100,000 are on the Sunshine List, and I'm willing to bet that at least 25% more are between 90 and $100,000, and they don't appear on that list. Maybe more. So everybody asks, "Hey, how can be they're building these million? How could afford these million? If you work for the city, you can. That's who can afford the $1 million homes." So if you want a job and you want to buy $1 million home, get a job with the city. See if you can find a way to get hired. Look at the names, and a lot of them come from other places. They come from people who have worked here or whatever. It seems, but that's where you want to go. 50% of the people who get jobs with the city make over $100,000. So let's look at some of the salaries here, the big ones, the big ones. So Jason Burgess, he leads the way, the Penguin, with $293,821.26 a year. So let's see. In 3 years, he makes $1 million, right? Now, if you're working at a regular job, you're making 40 grand a year. It's going to take you about 25 years to make $1 million. Jason makes it in 3. Bill Matson, city clerk, $144,164.66. Kara Dolch, you always see her on city council meeting, Miss Dolch, $187,021.90. And these aren't including benefits. They're benefit packages and pensions and everything. Yeah, she almost makes $200,000. I wonder if she's married. I don't know about any young guys out there. Go take a shot, man. I mean, that's a pretty good salary. You don't have to work. She's bringing down that kind of money. Tiffany Clark, finance, $174,060.02. Another good score if she's not married. I don't know if she is or not, but if she's not, there you go. You got to start going to city council meetings and meeting these people. Needy Punyarthi, that's a city solicitor. She hauls down a cool $181,252.26. Not bad. Not bad. Sergio Felicetti. Isn't he the was he the director of what's he? That's something to do with businesses that come into the city. Is that what he is? Now he's involved. He's running to China and everywhere with Jim Diodati and everybody. $160,649.08. Not bad. Not bad. Economic director, economic development guy, I guess he is. Eric Nickel. $194,175.21 of taxpayer dollars. Bam. 1, that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's probably about a mil 2, something like that between all these people. 1.2 million, something like that. Yeah. That's your main players there, and then there's a bunch more that make over 100,000, but they're sitting in the back row there. I don't think Ray Spiteri makes that. He's the review writer. He sits in the back row. But there you go. They're all the biggies. They're all the biggies, and of course, Mayor Jim Diodati makes 125,000. By the time he gets all his committees, the region, and everything else, makes another 50 grand. So he's at about 175,000. He's up there with the big boys. He's no piker. He's up there with the big boys, and he also gets all his benefits and everything. So when you look at all this, I don't know, man. This is a lot of money. So like I said, the city has 550 permanent employees. Half of them make the Sunshine List. And there's probably another 100 or more, maybe, that are in the $90,000 to $99,000 range, so they don't get shown on that list, but they're making good money. But don't feel bad, Niagara Falls. Don't feel bad. Don't get all upset. Don't get all upset. It's only money. It's only money. They didn't give it to each other. They'd blow it anyway. Don't feel bad because Toronto City Council just voted themselves a 20%, 24% raise, topping them off at around 170,000 a year for counselors. Woo-hoo! And that's up from 137,000. Nice $33,000 a year pay raise. And I'm willing to bet that some people in Toronto don't even make $33,000 a year, never get a $33,000 raise. And all these little raises there of all the counselors, what is there, 25 or something? That's about a very cool $1 million more for taxpayers. You just got to say, listen, times are tough, and these cities have no respect for taxpayers. As they whine and cry about Orange Man bad and tariffs are going to hurt everybody, these guys never get hurt. You know, they were all paid right through to COVID. They never got laid off. They never had days off. They got paid straight through. They curse Trump daily about the tariffs, and then they sit down and give themselves a $33,000 a year raise. Woo! You know, our problems aren't with tariffs. I'll tell you that right now. You can blame Trump all you want, but Trump's not the problem in this country. Not at all. He's a good scapegoat. Oh, yeah, it's Trump's fault. He's going to put 25% tariffs. Hey, our government has been screwing us like crazy with carbon taxes and all these other nonsense things. They don't have respect for the taxpayers. I mean, what, 130,000 a year isn't enough? It's double what the average person makes in Canada every year. They want 3 times what the average person makes? Yeah, they make me sick. Another ones that make me, give me this. Give me agita. You give me agita. Ah, just crazy. This craziness. This is what you got to read. This is what you got to read every day. Over to my third sponsor, Hamel Machine Company. And, you know, I never realized what Hamel Machine actually does. Yeah, I knew they were a machine shop in town since 1948. Been around serving industry in the region. Of course, you know, all these industries have to have a machine shop at their disposal because they can't wait 6 weeks for parts or whatever. They got to have parts right away because production goes down, they lose money. So where do they turn to? They turn to Hamel Machine Company, machine shops like that. And Hamel's been doing this since 1948, so they know what they're doing. Not only can they fix whatever the problem is for these industries, they actually can help them make their operation more efficient, streamline it, come up with inventions for their production, help them work smarter, faster, better. That's what Hamel Machine Shop does. And it doesn't matter if it's for the wine industry, richest products, for any industry here, and also for agricultural products. They've invented machines that help harvest, hydroponics, and they increase production because they can harvest faster with the machines that they've invented to do it. These guys take care of it all. Can't ask for more from a small machine shop in Niagara Falls, but you know, we think they're a small machine shop, but they ship all over the world. And the reason we think they're a small machine shop is because they act like a small machine shop. You go in there with anything, they're going to help you to get your part fixed, welded, machined, whatever has to be done, and get you out of their building at a good price. They're not here to rip anybody off. They're honest. They do a good job for you. They'll fix anything you have. You need back gates? See Hamel. They'll come and they'll look at them and they'll give you a design and they'll fabricate them for you, powder coat them. You'll be happy as heck. Hamel Machine Shop, that's the place to go when you have anything that needs to be fixed. That's what the city does. That's what the region does. That's what small industry does. That's what big industry does. Hamel Machine Company, 1948 Niagara Falls. Support our sponsors because they support the show. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel and tell them. Look at this. Somebody. Oh yeah, you heard that horn blow. This goofball stopped in the middle of the road. Look at her. Oh, that bunch of people. They're wacky down here. Yeah, support our sponsors. They support the show. They support the city. So, this guy was booted out of a Blue Jays game for wearing a hat at the cat that said Canada is not for sale. Blue Jays saw that and threw him out. Why? Because the management said they do not allow hats with political statements on them. They threw him out when he wouldn't take it off. Now, I don't know why anybody would buy a hat like this. I don't know why anybody would wear a hat like this, because Canada's not for sale. Well, nobody's offering to buy Canada. I mean, would you put a sign in front of your house? This house is not for sale. No, why would you do that? if you think Canada's for sale, you get a hat that says Canada is for sale. So I don't know why he wears this hat. But anyway, Colonel Ford, the left-wing blue PM of this province, called the guy and said he was proud of him. I'm proud of you. You're there. You're a 70-year-old man. And keep wearing the hat and be proud to be a Canadian. Now, this 70-year-old guy that they roasted up and threw out because he was wearing this hat, he received an apology from the Blue Jays, which he should. I mean, it's so ridiculous, saying their staff made a mistake. Now, who told the staff to do this? Staff didn't make a mistake. They're doing what they told. You think they just made this up as they went along? The maker of the hats, Jack Pine Dynamic Branding in Ottawa, says the hat isn't a political statement at all. It's just supporting Canada and Canadians. And apparently, the Blue Jays were way off base on this one. See what I did there? So, yeah. They're way off base. See what I did there? On this one. So there you go. I still maintain that nobody's trying to buy Canada. Why wear a hat that says not for sale? I don't get it, but hey. I don't think the guy should get thrown out of a baseball game for wearing that hat. Do you? If you do, tell me in the comments. I'd say no. That's craziness. That's craziness. So just across the border here, New York State Senator Patricia, not Patrick, Fahy, maybe they just pronounce it Fahy, F-A-H-Y. Patricia Fahy is pushing legislation to ban Tesla dealerships in New York State. That's it. She's had it with Musk. She's had it with Trump. TDS, big time. No more Tesla dealerships in New York State. Now, pardon me, but weren't the climate change people yelling that gasoline-powered cars are going to ruin the whole country, ruin the whole world? And they're pushing for all electric vehicles by 2035. Wasn't that Biden's goal? Didn't he come up with that and all the car companies were following suit? Imagine these left-wing loonies wanting to kill businesses in the U.S. With this partisan hatred for Trump. And at the end of the day, what does Elon have to do with tariffs? He's not there doing anything with tariffs. He's getting rid of people because they're fraud and mismanagement and waste. So these guys aren't letting Tesla, Elon, the darling of the left-wing lunatic climate change people, sell his cars now. They're going to ban them. Man, oh man, TDS and MDS are running deep in the United States and Canada. I mean, it's the same thing in Canada, right? These guys go around scratching cars, scratching Teslas in Canada and stabbing the tires with a knife to make them flat at dealerships. I mean, this is craziness. Now they're not going to let them have dealerships. Can you imagine? So what? You go to another state, buy a Tesla, drive it home, and plate it in New York State. Big deal. I mean, just nonsense. Just nonsense. That's all it is. So remember that leaked signal chat? It's sensitive information about the plans to bomb the Houthis. Remember that? That was the last week, or maybe the last week all this went down. Well, the leaker has been found. So apparently they found the leaker, and this guy's going to be in a little bit of trouble, I think. He was an assistant to Mike Waltz, national security advisor for Trump. So why Waltz hired this guy, I don't know. Now, this Wong, Alex Wong is the guy's name. He's the one that allegedly sent the sign-on information to Jeffrey Goldberg, allowing the Atlantic, so the newspaper, the Atlantic Journal, he's a journalist for them, into a chat that, although not deemed classified, did contain sensitive information regarding the attack on the Houthis in Yemen. Now, this Alex Wong guy, who's the guy who apparently leaked the information, well, he didn't leak information. What he did was he gave a sign-in code to this Jeff Goldblum. His name's Goldblum, or is it? No, that's the actor, Jeff Goldblum. Jeff Goldberg, allowing the Atlantic journalist to get into the chat. And it wasn't deemed classified information. But when he saw that there was sensitive information that if released could be used to know when they're going to attack the Houthis. Now, he's married to Candace Chu Wong, one of the key advisors and attorneys prosecuting the J6ers. You know, the January 6th rioters that were all arrested? Well, she was part of that advisor and attorneys. She worked for Obama and Biden administration as an assistant U.S. attorney for the District of Columbia. She served under Obama, appointed SCOTUS Justice, so Supreme Court of the United States Justice Sotomayor as well. So there's the connection there between him and her and the Biden administration. Now, Wong himself worked for Covington and Burton law firm, a law firm that recently was stripped of its security clearance by Trump. So allegedly, this Goldberg was added by Wong to embarrass the Trump on behalf of China. So I don't know the total story or what's going on here, but this guy needs to be investigated fully and thrown out, maybe even charged with treason or something for purposely letting Goldman into this chat, or Goldberg into this chat. This isn't over yet. They're going to get to the bottom of it all, and then we're going to see something happen here. But yeah, what was this guy doing in there? Even more, when he saw that he was allowed in there, why did he just click out? He knew he wasn't supposed to be in there. And number three, when he broke the story, if it was classified information, he's guilty of releasing classified information to the public. Now, he says that it wasn't as classified as they thought. It was sensitive, but not classified. And that's what Higgs has said and everybody else. So, interesting story there that this guy got in and was talking about it. And, of course, the United States is hammering the Houthis right now in Yemen. So, news of where they're going to go and what they're going to do and how they're going to do it and what they're going to use is not good stuff to be releasing to the public. Now, whatever happened to, you remember what happened here? When Trump first announced the tariffs, Prime Minister of the little patat, the petite patat, appointed a fentanyl czar. Remember that? Whatever happened to this guy? Big announcement that Trudeau was about to hire a fentanyl czar, and he finally did, because Trump was saying that we got to get the border under control, we got to get fentanyl under control and everything else. So he went crazy and hired this guy, Kevin Brousseau. Where is this guy? Has anybody out there heard of this guy? Because I haven't heard one word about him. Not one word since he was appointed. The fentanyl czar. Is he stopping fentanyl from coming into the country from the seaports and airports? Has there been any reports? I haven't seen anything. I wonder if we're going to hear any more about this guy. This was a big deal. This is a big deal. He presented to Trump. We've hired a border czar, a fentanyl czar. I haven't heard nothing. Was it just another baloney appointment to appease Trump? I mean, maybe, but this guy's probably getting paid huge to do nothing if he's not doing anything, and I haven't heard of anything about him. Has anybody heard anything? Leave it in the comments. I looked it up. Not a word about him other than his name, and he was appointed. Nothing that he's done. Another Trudeau gaffe before he left. And Carney, he hasn't said anything about it. He's too interested in going after Trump, although now he's pretty happy. Over to Russia, an interesting event this weekend. A car in Putin's presidential limousine motorcade exploded in Moscow, blocks away from FSB headquarters, and the FSB is the Federal Security Service in Russia. It's their principal security agency. And this happened days after Zelensky predicted Putin's imminent death. How about that? That's pretty wild. And we haven't heard a lot about this, just that it happened. Haven't heard anything from Putin yet. I haven't anyway. Maybe somebody has, but I haven't. But what's going on over there is crazy right now. France and the UE are set to join forces and enter the conflict with troops. So they want to get into Ukraine with troops and enter the conflict with Russia. If that happens, things are going to get real fast. Riding on the brink of World War III, probably. And I mean, potentially erupting in a nuclear confrontation. Nobody's sure who blew up this car in the motorcade, but it's being called an assassination attempt by the Russians. Europe is telling people to stock up with 72 hours of supplies in case war breaks out. And right now, these guys aren't giving in. Zelensky isn't giving in. Nobody wants peace except Trump. This is a possibility. It looks more likely than ever. The EU is determined to start a war with Russia, whether the US participates or not. They don't care. They're going in. Trump is trying to find a way to end the war. France and the UK have deployed troops to the Ukraine, and NATO's getting in on the act. And everybody is advising Trump to get the hell out of NATO before the U.S. gets dragged into this confrontation, something they don't want to get dragged into, seeing as how Trump really wants it to end. And the United States, hey, they're an ocean away. They're 3,000 miles, 5,000, 6,000 miles away. They really don't need this. And they don't want to get into it. So we'll see what happens with that as the UK, France, and the European Union and NATO ramp everything up. So we'll see what happens with that. I mean, the world's not a stable place right now. Anything could set this off. You know, Turkey, they're having problems over there. They're having a ton of problems in Turkey. The Middle East, I mean, you know, the Hamas are still getting hammered because they won't quit and they won't give up the hostages. Iran's being told to sit down and shut up and quit supporting the Houthis and everybody, because if they keep it up, they're going to be next. It's really wacky out there now. I really watch because things could escalate real fast. We're lucky we're an ocean away, but still, Canada's already said by Trudeau they're going to put boots on the ground if Britain decides to go in, the UK and the European Union, that Carney's trying to align us with all those people. So, not good for Canadians, and the United States they want to stay right out of it. They don't want nothing to do with it. They're saying, screw it. We're not getting involved. So this is going to be interesting. Keep your eyes open. Keep your eyes, see what Carney, if he announced anything today. Somebody messaged me and said he was stepping down. He was stepping down. We'll see if that happens. I can't imagine it, but there's a lot going on with him. This guy too. He's got a lot of stuff going on. He may have no choice before all is revealed. Anyway, that's it for today, everybody. My name is Paul K. Lemire. This is Your City, Your Voice, coming to you live from downtown Niagara Falls, Ontario, Canada. Send letters to the aldermen. Tell them you're not putting up with this crime in this city anymore. Email MPP Wayne Gates, MP Tony Baldinelli, looking for re-election. Make them promise to get on crime. Make City Council promise to talk to Niagara Regional Police. We can't have people being stabbed out of nowhere in front of City Hall. It's ridiculous. Have a great day, everybody. Enjoy. Your City, Your Voice, coming to you live from downtown Niagara Falls, Ontario, in the studios of 4680Q. The video will be up for you listeners if you want to watch the video at about 3 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in today. Support our sponsors, Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop, Hamill Machine Company, and Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue, because they support the city. They support the show. We want you to support them. Subscribe. Get notifications when the show goes on. We'll see you tomorrow with Trash Talk on Tuesday at noon. Maybe we'll get somebody in here to talk about this election, like Chris Regis or something. He knows a lot about it. Have a great day, everybody. Take care. God bless you all. See you tomorrow at noon on Trash Talk on Tuesday.